So the idea for this soap is not just scarecrows, because I always like scarecrows for Halloween, the friendly looking ones, not the horrifyingly scary ones. As I've said before, I much prefer the innocent side of Halloween rather than the super scary side. But a lot of my favorite characters at Halloween time are pumpkin head people. I absolutely love in the L. Frank Baum books and in the 80s movie Return to Oz, I loved the character Jack Pumpkinhead. He was always so sweet and kind to Dorothy, so he was my favorite. I also really loved the regular Scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz as well too. He was my favorite. But also over the garden wall, there's a lot of Pumpkinhead people that were really sweet in that, and of course the king of all, Jack Pumpkinhead in Nightmare Before Christmas. There's another YouTube channel that I'm subscribed to that I love that's called It's a Charming Life, and the husband, Jonas, he is a pumpkin carver artist, and he also loves to make art about little pumpkin head people that are super cute. I have a couple of his prints, and I think his character is named Pumpy-Doo, which is really sweet and cute. I have one of him eating an apple that I got last year, and I'll link that video below too. So here you see me making the pumpkin head scarecrows. I put orange soap dough in the head parts ahead of time, and then I'm pouring in the liquid uncolored clear soap in right now. I didn't film unmolding them because that actually turned out to be quite scary and a little stressful because the pieces themselves were kind of thin, so when they came out of the mold, a few of them's heads came off, so I was a little freaked out, so I didn't film that part of it, but it's always good, and I can reattach everything with soap dough and you don't even notice. So next I'm making the body of the soap. I made a few with the background being purple clay, and then 2 I made with the background being orange from paprika. But here I'm putting in the essential oil, which I had never worked with before, and it was allspice. And allspice just, oh boy, it smelled so good, and I'm really happy with it. I did, however, have some problem, and you'll see in the end, of soda ash on the bars, and I'm not sure if that's because of these little tart molds that I pour it all into. I did put rubbing alcohol on. I sprayed that on before I painted them, and I really don't know why they ashed so much. I'm not sure if it was from the allspice or if it was, again, just the molds and probably needing to cover them up. It was also really humid that week that I made them. It rained a lot, so that could be why. But here I'm putting in the purple Brazilian clay. And here I start to get the pieces put in. I had to wait just a few minutes just for it to be stable enough to put them in. And you can see how carefully I'm trying to hold them so they don't fall apart. I wanted them to have a little crow friend to roost on their hand to show that they are a friendly scarecrow that even the crows are not afraid of. So here I'm putting the little crow on his hand. Originally I had made a bunch of soap dough corn cobs, and I had the idea that at his feet I would put some corn, but when I played around with that, it just seemed a little too busy, and the focus, I wanted it to be just on him and the crow. So maybe next year, but this year they turned out just as cute as I really hoped and planned them to be. They are really big bars too. A good amount of soap. That's why I didn't make a whole lot. And so now I start painting them, and these are the purple clay background ones. So on the purple clay background ones, I painted their shirts with red clay and then their overalls black. But on the two bars that I did with an orange background, I painted their shirts with the purple clay and also black overalls as well. I also took a little eco-friendly glitter and just put tiny little bits of it. It was a natural yellowy gold, and I put it in the eyes, nose, and mouth so that they stand out just a little bit more. You can see his features better. And here comes the activated charcoal now to do the overalls. So I'm curious if anyone would like to answer now or in the future, how do you all feel about corn mazes? I have only been in one once when I was a teenager, and at first I really thought it was kind of fun. And then it was a hot day and we were in there a lot longer than we anticipated, and just wandering around and getting thirsty, getting hot, and just trying not to slightly panic a little bit. I felt very claustrophobic. At a certain point, you just want to get out, and I don't know, I've never really wanted to go in one since, and my kids are really little right now, and the pumpkin patch we go to has one, but I'm just kind of reluctant to take them in at the ages that they are now. And I just wonder how many of you really love a corn maze, or are you like me? Do you get inside one and just kind of go, okay, I want to get out now? Like, how do you think about it? I do think they can be a little scary. So here I'm showing some pictures of Jack Pumpkinhead and some other vintage ones. And this is the orange background one that you just saw with the purple shirt. These will be available on the next full moon shop update, which is on October 9th.